Show me what you can do, pilot.
Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, taking a look at the IL-20. Now, I've had this sitting in my hangar for a while, but I finally got it fully upgraded, and I kind of wish I would have done a stock video on this, because it is a massive grind to unlock all the modules on the IL-20. Just absolutely intense, and I'm trying to get my ×3 off of this aircraft. I ran into a bad match right before this one, but then this match appeared right in front of me, and I couldn't help but to have to share this with you guys. This is a spectacular match. We are under tiered. The enemy has an IL-40. We have an IL-40, but I think you'll discover our IL-40 has his priorities a little bit mixed up. He's going strictly for the mining facilities, and he's not going for, yep, you guessed it, the offensive sites. These need to be taken. And you see the enemy IL-40 doing exactly what he should be doing. I don't even have a chance to drop off my ordnance. I think maybe I can drop the bombs in his path. No, IL-40s apparently are very fast. He not only was able to knock out all of that 10 site, I'm sure somebody got killed up above, like one of the air defense fighters, but then in addition to that, he also dropped his munitions on the main facility, which allowed him to be able to flip that capture zone. So I figure, you know what, best case scenario is I can delay their team from capturing this mining facility, because that's where the rocket base is firing at, and if my ground attacker is doing well, he should be able to capture that site. But if it hasn't happened yet, maybe you'll see it in a second, or maybe you've already seen it. My ground attacker crashed into the ground. Yup. He managed to not be able to take that site, and it's put him at quite a disadvantage. So the best thing I can do here is try to use what little ordnance I have left to try and keep this zone in the blue, or at least out of Red's hands, as long as humanly possible in order to keep them from getting their ticker going. But the problem is, without any munitions left, I can't finish these sites, and there is an NC-1070 here who is making my life difficult and trying to keep these zones under my control. And yes, the 50mm cannons, I think they're 50s, maybe they're 57s. Yes, they're good, they're very strong, they can take out ground sites all on their own, but I gotta have line of sight and not be flying into trees. The other thing about these cannons is, while they're very powerful, they're very inaccurate. And that means going after air-to-air targets is going to be problematic at best, very similar to what we had with the IL-8 with its 37mm? Man, I really should be looking this up before I do these videos. I'm sure I've posted a correction already. So, yeah, you hear our friend the IL-40. This is brutal. Yeah, it is brutal. It's because their IL-40 is engaging you guys like a heavy fighter, because he's already captured the zones he really needed. So, what you gonna do? So yeah, I'm here trying to fight a rocket base as well as the rest of the enemy team as they're coming in on these sites, and I realize, you know what? Maybe I should move on. Maybe this isn't where I should be. So, oh. But it looks like their main site is back up in the middle. I can't turn that away. If I can get this big site, this is more than 50% of the capture zone. So it'll be nice to be able to knock them down a few pegs here if I can knock these out. And the IL-20 is great for being able to do this. Those 50mm cannons and the very powerful rockets are more than enough to be able to knock out a lot of these sites. You get a total of 12 rockets now with the upgraded rockets, and they actually cause more damage. So we'll drop another bomb. This is almost a rinse and repeat of the exact same flight of travel we had earlier. Let's try and get in here on some of these ground targets. And Ruxpin, what are you doing here, man? Alright. I mean, I appreciate the help, but you should be using those air-to-ground ordnance to take out the rocket site and to counter the enemy IL-40 who's making short work of us. And I sure as heck can't dogfight an IL-40. And here comes the enemy players. They are on me, and I am doing my best to try and fight them off. Wogster, I've played against him quite a few times. Very competent player. Looks like he got taken out by Ruxpin. Thank you, Ruxpin. But it doesn't matter. There's so many people here that were diving on me. There was not much I could do. Crazy Killer for you and Wogster are paired up together in a set of Yak 15s. A very strong low altitude dogfighter, so that's a difficult endeavor for me to go up against. So I'm pinging the map, guys. We got to go after this rocket base. Let's see what we can do here. I do have cruise on this aircraft, which means that if I'm not attacking or under attack for 20 or 30 seconds, again, I gotta look this stuff up. Just one more thing for me to put in the after action editing. But it allows me to be able to increase my top speed as well as my max horsepower. So it allows me to accelerate and allows me to get up to a much higher top speed. Not a lot, but enough for it to matter, because every second counts in an IL-20. So you saw with the boost running, we were up over 300 miles an hour. That's much better than you would hope to get with the IL-8. Using the massive range of these cannons, these things can fire out to nearly 5,000 feet, which means I can hit both of these tent sites, and I am getting some help here, I think. Oh, or maybe those were my shells, I don't know. And I do have an aircraft apparently right on top of me. I did not know this at the time, but it manages to conduct a blast that ends up killing a player in a BV-210. And that gave me a bombardier as well as taking out the main site, which was enough to be able to finish the zone. I didn't realize it at the time. I couldn't tell that this was the IL-40. The triangle's kind of obscured from this angle. But I'm like, why is this guy not dying? Probably because he has over 1,000 health. Granted, he was much lower on the hit point pool, but those things do have a lot of armor, and it takes a lot to try and get through them. I'm slowing down here intentionally now to get to that Yak 15 to overshoot me. And I'm going to see if I can get some more shells on target on Crazy for you. Crazy Killer for you. I have lost my tail, and both my wings are damaged, so I'm doing my best here to see if I can help out with finishing off this zone as fast as humanly possible. We are so far behind on points. This is going to be a tough one. Oh, get those rockets out. Absolute spam. Use our cannons to finish off the zone. Hopefully our health can regen. We finally got control of our tail back. A little advisory for you guys: when you lose both of your wings like that, and or even your tail, and you're having trouble maintaining roll control or even pitch control, manual flaps. Manual flaps will help you more than you realize to be able to force the aircraft to level off, and it will also help raise it up into the air. Flaps traditionally, I mean, we're using them in this game as a turn augmentation tool, but the way that flaps are actually used is allowing you to get more lift out of the wings by creating more of an angle on the front and or back edge, which means that you have more vortices happening underneath the wings that makes the aircraft almost like raise straight up. It's giving you so much lift that the aircraft wants to almost float. That's why typically they're used in landing situations, because at low airspeeds you'll get more lift, which means that you'll have more, you can maintain a slower airspeed and keep the aircraft aloft so you're not landing at super high speeds. So if you've ever been on a commercial airliner and you've seen the back edge of the wings extend and kind of dip down at a steep angle, those are flaps. Alright, enough aviation lessons here. Now we are falling behind. If these guys get the ticker to roll over, I think that we'll really have a tough time on our hands unless we can capture this zone. So I need to put everything I have into taking this site. Luckily we have the rocket base on our side, and I'm taking out the pillars, the smokestacks immediately, and I do have 12 rockets, and since I know if I take this, that's the end of it, I finish it off. We get winged legend, we get air superiority, and that is going to win the match for us. We managed to get Hero of the Skies, and guys, I will catch you at the end result screen. Alright, so normally I save these reviews for when I've fully upgraded the aircraft, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. I've gotten everything upgraded with the exception of the engine you see available for purchase right here. So with that said, we still got the big cannons, we still got all the rockets, the bombs, the airframe upgrade, as well as the tail gunner upgrade. So we're pretty much there. The only difference is a little bit of speed and acceleration, which I don't think anybody was looking for. Thank you, man. Oh, so yeah, it was a good match all around. We definitely put in some serious work. We did get grade 1 ground attacker, which isn't hard to do. I've discovered even with the IL-8 it wasn't that difficult to achieve. But yeah, definitely a hard carry here. It was a good match and a lot of fun. So I think that's pretty much it. We got a ways to go on the grind. You can see that this was a ×3, if I pull this back up for you. This is a ×3 weekend, and with that performance, we still only got 7,900 XP. I know that's pretty good, but for the amount of work we obviously put into that battle and being under-tiered and everything else, to only get about 8,000 experience is not spectacular. Usually on a ×2, I would expect to see this on my I-250 down here is able to achieve that type of a pull on doing a standard match. Not saying a 15,000 personal point, just a regular match. So the ground attackers definitely are a bit of a slog, and that is noted here. I hear it gets better once you get to the IL-40, but we've got a bit of grinding to do before we can get there, because in order to get to the IL-40, now that we've upgraded that last engine, we still have 228,000 XP to grind. In fact, somebody said that they did the math with all the modules you need to unlock with the IL-20. It's as much experience as you would need to go from the IL-40 to the IL-40P. That is ridiculous, but true. And it is definitely a hard fought battle to try and get to this point. So guys, good luck to you if you're going down the line. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the videos. If you did, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.